Ladies and gentlemen, the academic processional is about to begin. Please welcome the Grand Marshal, faculty leaders, college faculty, and the graduating class of 2021. Please also welcome some of our graduates of 2020, led by the 2021 Graduates of Excellence.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Salt Lake Community College 2021 Commencement. We are pleased to have you here to honor the graduating class of 2021, as well as some of our graduates of 2020. Before we begin our commencement ceremony today, we acknowledge that Salt Lake Community College is located on the Native American shared territory of the Goshute, Navajo, Paiute, Shoshone, and Ute people. We honor the original ancestors of this land and offer respect to our other tribal communities. We acknowledge this history to cultivate respect for and advocate with our Indigenous students and communities still connected to this land. At Salt Lake Community College, students are the focus of our efforts and mission of the institution, and it is our pleasure to showcase and celebrate their accomplishments during momentous events such as this. Please join me in welcoming the Salt Lake Community College Dance Company under the direction of Whitney Harris, Assistant Professor of Fine Arts, for our call to welcome. Thank you, Salt Lake Community College Dance Company, for that beautiful performance. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the Salt Lake Community College Distinguished Platform Guests and remain standing for the posting of the colors and the national anthem. The colors will be posted by the Utah National Guard, followed by the national anthem performed by adjunct faculty member Dr. David F. Pack.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming? and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say doesn't that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
You may be seated. It is my honor to welcome the 2020 and 2021 graduates, the President's Party, faculty, staff, family, and friends of our graduates. Before we begin, I have some short housekeeping items for your attention. As a courtesy to one another and to enjoy this morning's ceremony, please silence your cell phones. Also, please take a moment to locate the nearest exit to be used in case of an emergency. For the safety of everyone in the graduates as degrees are awarded, so we ask that family members wait until after the program to take pictures of your graduate. It is now my honor and privilege to turn the program over to our president, Dr. Denise G. Huftelin.
Welcome. I'm so happy to see you all finally. Thank you for joining us for this joyous and celebrative event. This is truly an extraordinary day as we celebrate 73 years of educational excellence and student success. This year, more than 3,600 students will graduate from the college with a certificate or a degree, and I want to thank you wholeheartedly for making it a priority to honor their accomplishments. In addition to our graduates, we would also like to take this opportunity to remember students, faculty, staff, and other loved ones who have passed away this school year. Please join us in a moment of silence in their honor. Thank you. I am joined on stage this morning by incredible supporters of Salt Lake Community College and its students. It is my privilege to introduce our special platform guests. As I introduce each one, I ask that they stand and remain standing until all introductions have been made. Also, please hold your applause until we've completed all of the introductions. Our honorary doctorate recipients, Terry L. Grant, retired president of Utah Market of Key Bank; Gerald M. and Edna Anderson Taylor, retired community and business leaders; from the Utah System of Higher Education, Dave Wolstenholme, commissioner; our SLCC legislative champion, Senator Kirk Cullimore; our board of trustee members, Chair Maria Farrington, Vice Chair Brady Southwick, Nate Boyer, our alumni president, Sylvia Castro, Sonny Washington, Kim Wilson, and our Grand Marshal, Brett Baird, Professor of Automotive Technology. Our Staff Association President, Gina Alfred. Our student leaders, Emily Hernandez Alzamora, Student Association President for 2020-2021 and student trustee, and Lindsay Lauren Simons, Student Body President 2021-22 and student trustee. Salt Lake Community College's Executive Cabinet. Jeff Aird, Vice President for Institutional Effectiveness. Dr. Leilani Kinney, Special Assistant to President for Equity and Inclusion and our Chief Diversity Officer. Dr. Charles Lepper, Vice President for Student Affairs and Enrollment Management. Allison McFarland, Vice President for Institutional Advancement. Dr. Clifton Sanders, Provost for Academic Affairs. Tim Sheehan, Vice President for Government and Community Relations. Jeffrey West, Vice President for Finance and Administration and our Chief Financial Officer. Our academic deans, Dr. Dennis Bromley, School of Business. Dr. Craig Caldwell, School of Science, Mathematics, and Engineering. Tara Haight, our interim dean for the School of Health Sciences. Dr. Roderick Land, School of Humanities and Social Sciences. Dr. Jennifer Saunders, School of Applied Technology and Technical Specialties. Richard Scott, the School of Arts, Communication, and Media. And our keynote speaker, Timothy S. Huval. Thank you all for joining us this morning. Please be seated. I am also honored to introduce two additional platform guests, our 2020-2021 Distinguished Alumni Award recipients. Please stand as I introduce you. Christina Andino. After graduating from Salt Lake Community College in 2015 with 2 associate's degrees, one in social work and the other in general education, Christina earned bachelor's and master's degrees in social work from the University of Utah. Christina recently relocated to North Carolina and currently works as a military and family life counselor for Magellan Health at Camp Lejeune Marine Corps Base. Prior to her current role, Christina served as a social worker for the Canyon School District. Christina is dedicated to advocating for and supporting Foster Club, a national network for foster youth. Having lived in foster care for 5 years, Christina relished the sense of community that Salt Lake Community College provided when she arrived as a student. SLCC helped her to become more involved and find the support to pursue her personal, education, and professional goals, becoming the fierce advocate for foster children that she is today. Please help me in congratulating Christina Andino. Our second distinguished alumni recipient is Davis M. Smith. Davis first attended Salt Lake Community College in 1996-1997. He went on to BYU and then to the University of Pennsylvania's Lauder Institute and Wharton School, earning a bachelor's degree, master's, and MBA along the way. After college and several successful online ventures, Davis combined his love of travel with a poverty-fighting business model. In 2014, he launched Cotopaxi, named for Ecuador's Cotopaxi National Park. Today, the fast-growing Salt Lake City-based company manufactures outdoor gear in factories around the world, providing more than 1,000 people with jobs. His worldwide success started with inspiration from his SLCC professors and guest lecturers. This provided him an opportunity to figure out his life and his passions, find his academic footing, and springboarded him into a life of helping others. Congratulations, Davis. So community is not an abstract idea at our college. It is woven into our educational strategies and our outcomes. It is integrated into our work and our structures. It is foundational to how we define ourselves, all of us, students, faculty, and staff. This was never clearer than over the past year. Even as we passed through the darkest days of this unprecedented pandemic, our faculty, staff, and students sought opportunities to collaborate with our communities. Together, we navigated the health epidemic, economic upheaval, an earthquake, a fire on campus, and racial justice reckoning. We tried out new ideas and discovered creative problems and opportunities. I am so proud of our students' passion and commitment. Throughout the past year, you continued to develop innovative and creative solutions through civic and community-engaged service and outreach. More than 2,625 Bruins participated in 215 service learning courses taught by 48 faculty, supported by the Engaged Learning Office. Among those who worked with our community last year are the 83 civically engaged scholars that we honor today. These scholars, acknowledged by the Royal Blue Cords of Distinction, devoted their time at SLCC to understanding our community's strengths and challenges and transforming themselves and their communities with the support of the Thain Center. You did not do this work alone. You also had the tireless support of faculty who share your commitment to communities. In spring of 2020, the Department of English, Linguistics, and Writing became the third engaged department, joining our occupational therapy assistant and dental hygiene programs. Engaged departments share a joint commitment to community engagement and public scholarship. They strive to build a comprehensive and strategically planned culture and curriculum, integrating civic literacy, critical thinking around social issues, and civic action throughout the major or the program. All students at SLCC have the option to graduate as civically engaged scholars. At a time when it was most needed, you, our engaged scholars, faculty, and staff, chose to embrace academic curiosity and scholarship to not only respond to the pandemic, but to build a new future. There are so many stories, but I wanted to highlight one engaged student, Gino Gazzani, who came from Peru as a second language learner and a first-generation college student. Gino earned his associates in nursing this year, and like many of our students, attended school full-time while working full-time. Gino is a U.S. Army nurse and aspires to become a neurosurgeon one day and run a general medicine clinic for low-income families. Even with his busy schedule, he found time to volunteer at Malahi Clinic and Esperanza Elementary. Our civically engaged scholars embody SLCC's value of community. Will the civically engaged scholars and service learning faculty please stand and be recognized? You served in communities in Salt Lake City, South Salt Lake, West Valley, Taylorsville, and others along the Wasatch Front. You worked with many of our community partners as co-educators and tackled pervasive social issues. Now, as you are preparing to take your next step, I encourage you to continue to strengthen our communities. Please be seated. I also have the pleasure of introducing and acknowledging the outstanding achievements of some of our faculty this year. These award recipients are seated to my right in the front row of the faculty section. I ask each recipient to stand following the announcement of their name and to remain standing. Please hold your applause until all the introductions have been made. The 2021 Teaching Excellence Awards, given by our SLCC Foundation for Outstanding Faculty, were awarded to Jessica Robin Berryman, Associate Professor, School of Science, Mathematics, and Engineering, Biology. Brett Terpstra, Assistant Professor, Institute of Public Safety, School of Applied Technology and Technical Specialties, Criminal Justice. Dr. David F. Pack, Adjunct Faculty, School of Arts, Communication and Media, Communication and Fine Arts. The 2022 Distinguished Faculty Lecture will be presented by Adam Dastrup, Professor of Science, Mathematics, and Engineering, Geosciences. I would also like to recognize and acknowledge our 2019-2020 Faculty Governance Leadership and Commencement Processional leaders, Katerina Salini, Faculty Senate President, Professor, School of Humanities and Social Sciences, Psychology, and Justice Morath, Faculty Association President, Associate Professor, School of Humanities and Social Sciences, Psychology. We are sad to miss Justice, who is not able to join us today, but please join me in giving these exemplary faculty a round of applause. Every academic year at Salt Lake Community College begins with a quote, which is engraved in areas on our campuses which have been designated for reflection and thought. I am hopeful that at some point in someone's life, as a student or employee of Salt Lake Community College, one of those quotes inscribed in these settings has made an impact. Perhaps it made them reflect and change course. Maybe it helped them see something from a different point of view. Perhaps one of the quotes brought someone a sense of calm on a difficult day, or motivated them to do something that they'd only dreamed of doing. Sometimes words reach us just when we need them. You must be brave, bold, and courageous, and find a way to get in the way. This year's quote came from the late John Lewis, who, despite all of the oppression and violence around him, consistently stood up against injustice. He got in the way at segregated lunch counters. He got in the way of discriminatory voting practices. He got in the way of police officers and mobs who were violently denying him the right to peacefully protest. His entire life was dedicated to getting in the way of injustice, and I admire him and his steadfastness in the face of brutality. Many of you will never have to literally get in the way of another group who is trying to oppress you. Some of you will. But I think it's important for us to remember Congressman Lewis's words for the spectrum of action that they invite. Getting in the way can happen on the tumultuous streets during a protest, or it can happen in a living room where you gently urge someone to complete an application for financial aid and enroll in college as their first in their family to do so. You can get in the way by reading, listening, understanding facts, and then challenging others to consider more civil and peaceful conversations toward a better, more just solution. You can get in the way by voting, running for office, opening a nonprofit, breaking the glass ceiling, being the first to do something no one expected someone like you to do. The congressman was right. You need courage. But it's clear to me that you would not be graduating today if you had not been bold and brave at other times in your life. I encourage you to call upon the mettle that you've shown during your time at SLCC and find a way to get in the way. Seek out opportunities to improve the lives of others. Look for ways to connect with your neighbors, your families, and your communities. Promote understanding, equity, and peace wherever you can. Keep an open mind and be committed to lifelong learning and growth. And most importantly, never miss a chance to stand up for what's right. The call for courage is loud. The call for bold ideas and brave, value-grounded action surrounds us. So please take to heart Congressman Lewis's words and commit today to taking on another of his invitations, which he offered to a 2016 graduating class much like yours. He said, "Go out and do what you must do. You have the power, you have the ability not just to change America, but to change the world and create a world community at peace with itself. Go out and redeem the soul of America, the soul of the world. Help create the beloved community. Walk with the wind and let the spirit of peace, justice, and love be your guide." I am now pleased to introduce two extraordinary individuals who continue to be advocates and champions for the college. Maria Farrington, our chair of Salt Lake Community College's Board of Trustees, and Brady Southwick, vice chair of SLCC's Board of Trustees, who will announce our honorary doctorates.
Good morning, graduates. Good morning, families of the graduates. I'm thrilled to be here to make this presentation. Terry, come on up. So proud to be chairman of the board of Salt Lake Community Board of Trustees, and on behalf of the Utah Board of Higher Education, it is indeed my honor to present Terry L. Grant as an honorary doctorate of humane letters recipient of the Salt Lake Community College class of 2021. In recognition of his service to the college and his strong commitment to the people of Utah, we are pleased to honor Mr. Grant. Through his working years, Terry has committed himself to treating people fairly, taking risks, and listening more than speaking. Mr. Grant believes in giving back without expecting anything in return. One of the ways Terry gives back is by supporting Salt Lake Community College PACE program, which helps high school students navigate a path to college with the aid of scholarships. Through this, he has provided educational and economic support for students who want to build a firm foundation for life. In recognition of his tireless leadership in Utah and his devotion to impacting our community for positive change, I am pleased to confer upon Terry L. Grant the degree, Honorary Doctorate of Humane Letters, with all the rights and privileges attendant to it. Congratulations, Terry. Congratulations.
I would like to invite Gerald M. and Edna Anderson-Taylor to the stand. As Vice Chair of the Salt Lake Community College Board of Trustees, and on behalf of the Utah Board of Higher Education, it is my honor to present Gerald M. and Edna Anderson-Taylor as honorary Doctor of Humane Letters recipients of the Salt Lake Community College class of 2021. In recognition of their incredible devotion throughout the years to Salt Lake Community College, we are pleased to honor Gerald and Edna today. From Edna attending high school in what is now our South City campus to Gerald attending Salt Lake Community College's forerunner, the Salt Lake Trade Technical Institute, and then Utah Technical College, they have long been a part of the SLCC story. Their joint legacy continues today as the pair focuses on philanthropy that has benefited many throughout Utah, including SLCC student scholarships. In recognition of their selflessness, generosity, and legacy at Salt Lake Community College, I am pleased to confer upon Gerald M. and Edna Anderson Taylor the degree Honorary Doctorate of Humane Letters with all rights and privileges attendant to it.
Genuflecting there.
This way. Congratulations to all of you. Thank you so much for your support. In an effort to celebrate more deeply the commitment to teaching and learning at Salt Lake Community College, each of our academic deans has selected a graduate of excellence to represent their school. The graduates were selected based on high academic achievement, involvement and leadership at Salt Lake Community College, community service, or notable triumphs in the pursuit of their educational goals. Please stand as I introduce you. Rachel Santizo, School of Applied Technology and Technical Specialties. Amy Schaefer, School of Arts, Communication, and Media. Samuel Aguirre, School of Business. Manisha Adhikari, School of Health Science. Brock Smith, School of Humanities and Social Sciences. Prabim Pandit, represented by Osiris Garcia Perez, School of Science, Mathematics, and Engineering. And Lindsay Simons, General Studies. Thank you so much for your remarkable work, and let's watch a quick video of their accomplishments.
Lindsay Simons, graduates of 2020. Sorry again.
Graduates of Excellence 2021. Take one.
Graduate of Excellence 2021, Prabin Pandit. Is that good or?
All right. All right, so Graduate of Excellence. Am I saying Provost Graduate of Excellent or?
Should I start? Oh, sorry. Okay. I'm Manisha Adhikari, Graduate of Excellence 2021.
And it's Aguirre, right? Aguirre?
Aguirre. Yeah. But don't worry, my old football coach used to call me Aguirre, so I don't mind.
Rachel Santizo, Graduate of Excellence 2021. Take one.
Provost Graduate of Excellent 2021. Take one.
So I'm in the journalism and digital media program, I think is what it's called now.
I've been going to Slate for 100 years.
One of the things that I mentioned on my essay was that everybody loves a good comeback story. Like there's just like something innately like pleasant about it.
I graduated from SLCC in nursing.
Regardless of my age, I was very intimidated because I'm 42, coming back to school.
I got attracted to SLCC because of its flexibility and like affordability.
I think I'm just someone that's like trying to be better. Like, I think one of the hardest things, besides like figuring out who you are and where you want to go, is just like, not just who you are, but like what are you? And I think it's really been a journey just to become a better human being.
Who is anybody? That's kind of like an existential thing that we all think about in our lives.
Me, I have some kind of truth and you have some kind of truth, so nobody has the absolute truth. It's all about like a relative things.
So for me, I was an excellent high school student. The problem was that I was an illegal immigrant. So I didn't really get to do the whole college university thing because I didn't have the means. You don't really get scholarships, at least back in my day.
When I came back to school, I was scared that I was gonna fail. I don't know, it's hard dropping out twice and then coming back to school because you already have that, you just are ready to fail again.
Before coming back to SLCC, you would have caught me down off North Temple. I was living under cars, I was dumpster diving. Like, that's the woman I had become.
The main reason we came to US was so that we can have a good future, a good life, a good career. That was not possible in my country at this time.
It's rough, you know, single parent family, kind of grew up in poverty, experienced a lot of hardship throughout my life. Was in and out of the system from age 12 to 24. I'm 26 now, so.
After high schooling, I worked 2-3 years in different kind of jobs because I need to support my family.
So I think what really drew me to this, so I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis in 2007, and I started with an MS team, and I started doing these little radio spots, and I started talking about the people that we were raising money for, and I loved telling their stories because I thought that was really important.
My major is social work, so that's kind of like my starting point, and SLCC's been able to provide me with the education and opportunities to find that out. Here I was able to start a nonprofit that helps underserved community members, those struggling with substance abuse, unsheltered community members, as well as targeted youth groups.
Growing up, I never had like American dream, but turns out my parents had a huge dream, not for themselves, but for us, me and my brother, which is why they give up their family, their friends, they give up their job, they give up everything so that we can have a good life and an opportunity that they never got over there.
I've gotten to really like throw myself into my schoolwork. I've asked an annoying amount of questions to my professors. And I don't care. I don't care. I'm not trying to be cool or anything. I'm just trying to make sure I get my education and that I don't miss out on anything. Because I had a lot to make up for, and I think I did.
I discovered my passion in my high school, where I took more science classes, more like physics and math. And later I think math is best for me. College is for us. If we start this a community college 2 years, it's a great foundation for your future journey.
So my son was in the hospital and I was laying in the bed next to him. I have 2 boys that have feeding tubes and some medical issues there. So that night, it was 3 a.m., I reapplied to SLCC. I love being a mom. It's what I was born to do. I love being a mom and my kids are my everything. But I had ignored myself for so long, being a mom, and I'm okay with coming back for the 3rd time and trying again. As long as I never stop trying, I think that's the most important part.
I wanted to do something more in my life, and at that time I was addicted to substances, and so I did attempt to come here at SLCC, and then I ended up dropping out half semester to go into residential treatment services. It took me a while to get back on my feet and get out of homelessness, get out of addiction. So ironically enough, I will be graduating with my criminal justice degree. I spent a lot of my life running away from the law. Anytime I would see law enforcement, I would run. but today I get the opportunity to run alongside the law.
So graduating, graduating after taking so many classes, especially in this COVID pandemic situation, is a moment to be proud in itself. There are so many people. It's just not the student who is behind their success, but there are so many people, their family, their loved ones, their teacher, their classmates, a lot of people.
I am a woman of 2 beautiful children, a grandson. That's where I'm going today, is I get to actually be a voice, and I actually get to be the boots on the ground and actually try to make a difference with individuals who have this similar struggles as me.
I feel like I've come into focus. And I feel like I've kind of found who I was again. And I think if you're on the fence, just take the step, because it's a lot easier to try and maybe not succeed that first time than not try and wonder what if. Like, those what ifs, I don't play those anymore.
So who am I? I'm a man trying to make a better life for myself and kind of give back to the people that helped me do that, and maybe others who are also struggling.
And please remember that this is just a starting of your journey. Always be open-minded and help community, build country, and be a global citizen.
Yeah, I just want to show my kids that I can do hard things, because they have done, some really hard things. With their medical problems, so I can do school because they can do hard things, so.
And that's what I love about SLCC, is that some people are just looking for a chance, and SLCC actually gives you that chance.
So it reminds me of this phrase, you start and then you start again. And that's exactly what I've been doing. But not only have I been doing it, SLCC has allowed me the opportunity to do that.
The late Nipsey Hussle said the marathon continues.
Man, and I had to follow that. Woo! I'm sorry. I said I wouldn't cry, but man, I'm like bawling right here. No, our graduates are amazing. There's nothing more incredible being in a room where you guys do so much and do so many things, have so many stories, and I am just in awe of what you guys have accomplished and done and how much you've got here. And I would like to share my story. The American dream has different meanings to some and countless definitions when Googled. The one that I thought that closer related to me was the ideal by which equality of opportunity is available to any American, allowing the highest aspirations and goals to be achieved. While this may or may not sound ideal, I would like to go back and change the definition to the ideal by which equitable opportunity is available to any individual, allowing the highest aspirations and goals to be achieved. My parents have taught me, and my sibling, about the value of obtaining an education and working for what we want. They sacrificed leaving their loved ones behind for the future of their new family, so they may live the way that they envisioned. They told us every day that getting an education will take us further in life, with my mother adding that education does not give us manners, class, or the respect we have to treat others, but could give us the tools to achieve our goals and become an overall. Many of us had the sole goal to graduate today. For some of us, we are coming back to school. Some are the first in their families to get higher education, and some were doctors, lawyers, or teachers in another country and had to start over. And for some, this was their American dream. Whatever your reasons were for obtaining a diploma or a certificate during a pandemic, we made it, and I'm so proud of you. We also faced and are facing various trials while completing our classes. In 2020, we all became teachers for ourselves or loved ones. We all dealt with loss of someone we love, our health, or our jobs. We all had to deal with change. There has been political turmoil and uproar about social injustice and worries about our safety. Domestic violence, mental and physical health, loneliness, fighting for basic needs, insecurity, and all these fears have affected us greatly and got the worse when the world shut down. These are just some examples of the situations we have been put in and are still happening as we speak. The pandemic hindered our life plans, but did not change the fact that we kept on going with our educational goals. It did not keep us from graduating or moving forward. We did not let the pandemic get in our way. I commend you all for being here because it shows our strength, determination, and bravery to be the class that is going through everything that can or could happen. Because of our advancements, I wanted to acknowledge that your efforts and struggles did not go unnoticed, as that has helped me serve as your Student Association president. I was paralyzed when I received a call that I might have been exposed to COVID-19. And my first thought was what if I harmed my family? And then imagining others like me who experienced the same fear I felt when getting that call. Worried that we wouldn't have enough food in our pantries to feed our students in need, helping students who needed shelter, scared for those who are fearful for their own lives because of the color of their skin or ethnicity, and the students who could not continue their education because of the loss of their job and deciding that putting food on the table and a roof over their head is more important than learning. These are a few thoughts that raced through my mind 24/7. These kept me afloat because I had to make sure that as an institution we were doing all that we could to make sure you all were taken care of. You made me want to be better for you, to advocate for what we needed, to push things aside and make sure you were always a part of the conversation. Thank you for your trust in me for the past year. It has been the greatest honor. As we go our separate ways, let us use our experience and knowledge to inspire the future generations and innovations. My grandfather used to say to my mother, who passed it along to me, "Poverty is in your head and not in your pockets. By education, hard work, passion, and a little bit of luck, you can reach anything you want, but being poor of mind will not go far. So get educated. If you do not like the circumstances you are in now, do something different. If policies need to be made or be changed, get involved. Do not wait for someone else to make the changes, be the change. Be the one who is brave enough to make legislation, to make discoveries, to be the top of your fields, become entrepreneurs, or whatever you thought could not be achieved, and be the one who will do it. The world is changing, and we need to buckle down and get changed with it. We witnessed it, and what we did in the past is no longer working. Different is what we need, and we are going to do it. Do not take this chance for granted. Be the example to look up to. Teach our younger generation that anything is possible if you believe it to be, and that the only person holding you back is yourself. The dream may vary from person to person, but it is when the dream no longer becomes a dream and is turned into something tangible. We are the class of possibilities. We are the class who is fearless. We are the class who achieves goals and aspirations. Don't stop dreaming because we are all dreamers. Thank you to those individuals who made this event possible. Thank you to those who are here with us today to celebrate our graduates, who inspired us and encouraged, believed, and picked us up when we were down. We could not have done it without you. And I want to say to my family, who is here and in Venezuela and Colombia, Mom and Dad, thank you for what you've done for me and for supporting my dreams to become who I want to be and never stop losing hope. Grandma, thank you for your love, warmth, and meaning of selflessness, of love, family, and strangers. Mandy, I love you so much, more than the world could offer, and I know whatever you choose to do, you will do amazing, and know that I will always be your big sister. Mi familia que están en Venezuela, en Colombia, Les quiero mucho y gracias por la amor y bendiciones que están mandando. To my executive council, I could not have served as a president without your many talents. Thank you for your service, for continuously thinking about the students. And lastly, thank you to those who are here and in my life who have done so much for me. And congratulations to the class of 2021 and 2022. Wow, 2021 and 2020. Here's to new beginnings. It is my pleasure to introduce this year's commencement keynote speaker, Mr. Timothy S. Huval. Mr. Huval graduated from SLCC in 1989 with an associate's degree in business management and earned a bachelor's degree in marketing from Weber State University in 1991 and a master's in public administration from Brigham Young University in 1996. He joined Humana in 2012 as the company's senior vice president and chief human resource officer, and in 2015 earned the #1 spot in Forbes magazine top 10 chief human resource officers list. He was named Humana's chief administrative officer in 2019. SLCC is proud to house the Tim and Brenda Huval Child Care at our South City campus and our Tim and Brenda Huval Student Center, our newest building at the Jordan campus. We are deeply grateful for them and their generous, unwavering support for their student scholarships. Please help me welcome Mr. Huval.
You go back to December of 17, towards the end of December, I started feeling bad. And actually, I'd had a full physical in November of 17, which was absolutely perfect. Rarely is my physical perfect, but it was. December, I started feeling bad. By the end of December, I had gained probably 20 plus, maybe 30 pounds of fluid. Didn't understand what was going on. I started feeling bad. Could not get the fluid to come down. Wasn't going to the bathroom normally as you would. By December 31st, I was in the emergency room. This would have been of 17. And at that point, my kidneys were not in good shape. My whole body was starting to go into a bit of shock. They were unclear as to what it was, but knew that things were bad and getting worse. Diagnosed with a rare disease called TTP. They started treating me with plasmapheresis, which is basically they take all the blood out of your system, put it back in. And did about a week of that. When they realized that wasn't working, I went to another, they sort of said, we're actually pretty confident it's what's called atypical HUS, which is another rare disease, and went on a different treatment, a chemo type of treatment. At this time, my kidneys were starting to really shut down. I was on dialysis off and on. Treated me for that for a while and realized, and I'd gone back and forth between here, Cleveland Clinic, realized probably by May of almost exactly this time last year that it wasn't atypical HUS. Was diagnosed around the end of May, June with what's called Castleman's syndrome, which is a non-viral disease of the lymphatic system. And there's a treatment, a fairly new treatment for it that they put me on. And I started that June 1st, and it causes other side effects. So I was on other medications. And throughout this whole time, I was in the hospital most of the time, in and out. And my body was just starting to deteriorate. Well, I had an allergic reaction to one of the meds. We'll never know exactly which one. It's probably a combination. And came down with what's called Stevens-Johnson syndrome. And Stevens-Johnson's, for those that may not know, is a pretty lethal, very lethal disease that burns your body really head to toe, inside and out. And at this point, I mean, I was in massive pain. I'd gained probably another 20 pounds or so at this. I think it was up to 200 pounds or so. To put it in perspective, I came home in December of this past year at 108. So I'd gone up in fluid, but I was also, normally about 170, 180 pound person. But fluid, kidney shutting down, body burned from head to toe, blisters from head to toe. Was rushed to, I needed a level 1 trauma unit for burn victims. That's how I was treated. Was rushed to Vanderbilt. They started the treatments, which probably one of the most painful things I think I've ever experienced. And at that point, things really started shutting down. I was sepsis. My whole body went into shock. Probably 2 days after getting there, was put into a coma. I was on a ventilator at that point, burned, ended up on a feeding tube, ended up on a trach, and was out of it for a good period of time. So fast forward the movie a couple of months, September, started coming out of it, and they had given my wife on several occasions the high probability I wasn't going to make it. A couple of times, not through the day, not through the hour, not through the night. One of those where they flew my family in and my wife's family and to say their final goodbyes, which thankfully I wasn't aware of. I remember things, but it was very, very vague, and I don't remember a lot of that. So low probability to survive the whole thing, but in large part a couple of times where it really got tough. Miraculously, in September, I woke up, and it was still foggy. I was paralyzed completely, head to toe. Couldn't talk because I had the trach in the vent and everything else, but I woke up.
Thank you. Thank you. I can't tell you what an honor it is to be here with all of you. I've been so inspired. I mean, gosh, I'm glad I had tissue close by, but I've been so inspired by what I've heard so far. Emily, amazing, amazing. 3,600 graduates, congratulations. I mean, what a special day. What an amazing accomplishment. It feels like it was just yesterday I was sitting in your chairs, and even though it was a little bit longer than yesterday, I was there not too long ago. Let me give you a little bit of the rest of that story, and then I'm going to talk to you about something that's, about living and about the path forward and what I've learned. So the rest of that story goes a little bit something like this. This was 18 September. I came around from the coma. I was still completely paralyzed. I was on life support, full stop. I had a trach, a ventilator, feeding tube, catheters, on dialysis every day. Kidneys were shut down. We were told my kidneys would never recover, and just sort of get used to a different life if I were to survive and make it out of the hospital. I knew that the only way to get out of the hospital was to be infection-free for at least a couple of weeks so that I could make it to rehab, where I potentially had a fighting chance to learn how to walk, talk, eat, do everything again. But I had to be infection-free to get to that rehab facility. By the end of September, early October, I made it to the rehab facility, still on a trach, still on a vent, still on, all the life support needed to kind of keep me alive. But the journey began back. And I knew at that point, my only shot was to become functional again in some way, shape, or form, and to get off that doggone vent. And I will tell you, that was one of the hardest things I ever had to do, because you just become dependent on it. And take the vent off, and you got to be off the thing for like 12 hours before they will allow you the next 12 to test the trach. And I just couldn't do it. I struggled. They would take it out, and I would suffocate. I would have anxiety. Finally, a doctor walked in the room and said, "You go home on this vent, you're going to die on this vent." About 2 days later, I was off the vent. I was off the trach. Was learning to walk again. By mid-November, I'd come off the feeding tube. And once I came off the trach in the vent, I was able to say my first words by close to Thanksgiving, December 8th. I came home, still on a walker, still requiring full support to go from anywhere. So thank God for my wife and family and support that I had around me. The journey began on December 8th. I was 108 pounds. I don't recommend that diet, by the way, to anyone. But I came home at 108 pounds and ready to fight the fight. So there you go. And by mid-January, I walked back in to my office and to work, and was able to heal on the field. I will tell you, most don't understand why I lived. The medical community does not. It was a miracle. There's no question. I mean, there was nothing in my favor. I was on the final door many, many times, but it was a miracle. And I will tell you that the support that I had from everyone, whether it was my family, my friends, my teammates, and all points in between, it lifts you up. It lifts you up. And that was the opportunity that got me through it. The miracle, all of the support I had around me, and I'll tell you my faith and the opportunity to think about chances, which I'm going to talk to you about in a second. Because I'll tell you, when I was laying there paralyzed, all I could do was think about chances. The chance to love, the chance to eat, chance to have a sip of water, chance to hug someone, chance to work, chance to be inconvenient. Imagine that. Chance to have a bad day. So I'll tell you right now, when those chances are taken away, you want them back. You want them back. And that's all I could think about at that point in time. So why am I here today? We're going to talk about living. I'm going to talk about 2 lessons, and I promise I won't put you to sleep. I know that you want to get to your degrees, but there are 2 lessons that have really, really stuck with me, and I've continued to learn a lot. It hasn't been that long ago. I came home, like I said, at the end of 18, so 19 was when the journey to recovery really started. But I've gained a lot more clarity around these lessons. And so the first lesson, please do not take life's chances for granted. As I said a minute ago, when you're taken away, you wish you had them back. Do not take life's chances for granted, good or bad. We're going to, hopefully good outweighs the bad, but I'm here to tell you, we all have good days and bad days, and with each other and together, you get through both. You celebrate the good and you lift yourself through the bad, but at the end of the day, it's still a chance to get better and to improve. There's no question. I found myself, putting things off before that it was crazy, because you don't know what tomorrow might bring. And I know you hear that all the time, but I had the opportunity to live it. Your someday is now. Take advantage of that. The other thing that I learned, and I've struggled with this most of my professional life, which is be present in the moment with each other. Why is that? Well, because that person that you're with deserves it. And if at the end of the day, we're here for each other. And so being present is courtesy, it's respect, but you never know what that person needs at that point in time. I am convinced that I hear so many people tell me, I've got something on my mind I want to talk to you about, but my problems are not nearly as big as what you lived through. Simply not true. Here's how I think about it. Every single person is going through something. And that something at that point in time is the most important something in the world to them. Who am I to judge? Be there for each other, be present, listen. What does that person, I try to live my life by thinking, what does that person need from me at that point in time? Not what do I need from that person or that individual, whether it's a family member, a teammate, a friend. Be there for each other. It's pretty liberating, pretty powerful. And you know what? I practiced that pretty well. 18 put a fine point on it to really recognize and realize why we're here. Celebrate the gifts that life gives you, just always, because you will never have that chance again. I'll tell you, before I get to my next thought, last month, June 28th, I got to get that right. My wife's here today. I will never miss that date. June 28th, my wife and I celebrated our 30th anniversary. I was present, and right here in Salt Lake. So we came back from Louisville to spend a couple of weeks in the summer, my wife and kids and I, and we celebrated our 30th anniversary. It was one heck of a special 30th, because I will tell you, I truly didn't think I'd see it. Lesson number 2, find a way to make a difference in someone's life. Find a way to make a difference in someone's life every day. Imagine that. Imagine how magical, imagine how powerful that would be. Anybody know I'm a big country music fan, I'm going to admit. Tim McGraw's, I'm a big Tim McGraw fan. There's a song Tim McGraw has called Humble and Kind. See, I knew there were some Tim McGraw fans somewhere around here. But when you think about it, for me, I listened to, they would play music for me when I was, when I'd come out of the coma to try to start connecting with things, and that's the one they played a lot. because I truly believe that it sums up so much about how we should show up every day with each other and how we make a difference in someone's life. Let me tell you a story. It was a February morning in Cleveland, so this was before things got really bad. But things were bad, and I was down. My wife and kids were back in Louisville, Kentucky. It's a long way from Cleveland, by the way. You know, I was lonely. I was scared. Maybe we're not supposed to be scared. I was scared. Didn't know what tomorrow was going to bring. They hadn't really formally diagnosed what was going on. My brother had made a trip up, you know, over that weekend because he knew things weren't great. Sunday morning about 10 o'clock, I'm sitting there licking my, you know, I don't get down too often. I'm a pretty optimistic guy. I was down that day. Around the corner in the room, bright-eyed and excited, walks the CEO of Humana, Bruce Broussard, one of our board members, David Jones, several of my colleagues from work, my beautiful wife and 2 kids. Bam. Bam. They weren't asked to come. The Saturday before, Bruce Broussard, our CEO, who's a very busy guy, it's a Fortune 40 company, a really busy leader and individual, picks up the phone and says, we're heading to Cleveland to see Tim. Called my wife, said, we're going. So they showed up. How do you think that made me feel? You think that made a difference in my life? Let me tell you this. Bruce is probably one of the best CEOs on the planet, no question. There'll be a day 20 years from now when someone says, tell me the top 10 things you remember about your CEO, Bruce Broussard. 9 of them are going to be about who he was as a person. And he's a phenomenal CEO. 9 of them are going to be about who he was as a person. You know what the number 1 thing on that list is going to be? That trip to Cleveland. Take time to make a difference in someone's life. You will never forget it, and you will always be paid back for it because it matters. There's another, you know, when you think about the strength to overcome anything, imagine what that did for me. I wanted to fight for every teammate, and I knew I had to fight for myself, but I needed their support, and I needed to know there was an army out there pulling for me. There's another story I have to tell because this ties it all together, I think, nicely around making a difference. But when I was in the hospital, I was the sickest of sick. There was a nurse, her name was Charlotte. Never forget Charlotte, never forget her name. And towards the end of my stay, she told my wife, and I could overhear it because I was becoming coherent enough, she said, you know, I asked for Tim. I asked to be his nurse. He was the sickest of the sick. Probability of living, not too high. In fact, there's a couple days 0, but I asked to be his nurse. And so my wife learned to read my lips, and I wanted to know why. Why'd you ask to be my nurse? And she said, you know, no matter who walked in the room, the person sanitizing the room, the doctors, the nurses, the person cleaning out my ventilator and my trach, I mean, all the things that are just tough. You made eye contact and you smiled. Why is that? And I tried to mouth what were my options, but at that point, but the real truth is, I needed them. And it's okay to need each other in a time of need, because that's going to put you in a position to help one another when you're in a position of strength. I needed them, and to be very honest, my journey was their journey, and I got through it. You think I'll remember that the rest of my life? I'll tell that story every chance I get. This person was there, she was in it to win it with me, and one of the reasons I'm here today, there's no question. So, pretty cool, huh? My journey was her journey, and if I had to do my part, they had to do their part, and together we could make it happen. I have a saying that I've used for years as I've had the privilege to lead teams, and I've been so blessed throughout my career, and I've had so many privileges, but I used to say, together we are better. 18 came and went, and here's what I believe. Together, we're unstoppable. There's no question. So my journey was their journey. We succeeded. Every teammate, every family member, my unbelievable wife, my rock, my 2 children, every single person made it happen. And let me tell you, I work in a very, very large company, 50,000 people, 50,000 amazing teammates, Fortune 40 company. Every single teammate was pulling for me. Our board, our management team, Bruce, Every single heartbeat in that company was pulling for me. Now let me tell you, they weren't pulling for me because they were afraid, they were going to lose a good teammate. I'm a pebble in a large pond. The impact, the company wouldn't have missed a beat, bar none. They were pulling for me because of the empathy, because they cared, because they loved. And guess what? You feel that, and I pulled through. Think I'll remember every one of them for that? You darn skippy, I will. So, I will tell you, I am committed to repaying that kindness in any way I can. I encourage you all throughout your journey, try to give back wherever you can, in whatever way it works. But be there for each other. Try to give back. I had so many people give to me in such a time of need. I would not be here without it. I have the privilege to stand before you today, back to 170 pounds, not 108 pounds, healthy. And I came out of the hospital, friends, and I could walk maybe 100 steps. That was my goal. I couldn't walk anything for a long time. I couldn't even stand. And my prayer was to walk 200, then 300, then 400. I'll struggle with this disease the rest of my life. I'll have, lingering effects from what 18 did. But guess what? I have the chance to have those lingering effects, and I'll take them all day long. When you have that chance, you'll take it. My lungs, I'll struggle with that. Guess what? I have the chance to. And I got to get a run and start at it every day. Guess what? I have the chance to, and that matters. And so just think about that as you think about your journey, and no matter what you do, no matter what job you have, don't define yourself by the job. Don't define yourself by the career. Define yourself by the difference you made. Define yourself by the difference you made. There's another line in the song, Humble and Kind. It says, when you get where you're going, don't forget, turn back around and help the next one in line. Pretty powerful, isn't it? We all have that obligation. We all have that obligation. So, I could go on and on about this experience and the life lessons. I hope that you took one thing away from that experience that makes you better. It was a blessing. It was a blessing. Now, don't wish for it as a gift, please, but it was an absolute blessing. It taught me so much. It taught me a lot about myself. It taught me about what matters in life. I'm driven. I went back to work because I could. I went back to work because I wanted to make a difference. I work for a company. That's what we do. We help people. We're in healthcare. And I wanted to do that. But you know what? The company let me heal on the field. Don't forget that. Accept people for who they are. Let them bring their whole self to whatever environment they're bringing themselves to. And it'll be a pretty magical place. So I close with just a couple of thoughts. And I'll let you get on to the most exciting part, which is your well-deserved diplomas you're going to receive so you can celebrate. Think about this. What differences can I make, can we make during this lifetime? What differences can we make? Every one of us. In the choices that we make every day. Try to give back every chance you get. No matter what that looks like. It doesn't have to be material. It can be anything. It can be helping someone, in a time of need. Try to give back in any time you can. And please, don't take 1 second for granted. Take every chance as an opportunity. I am so inspired by your accomplishments, beyond inspired. I'm the one that was emotional sitting in the chair just listening earlier. You should be incredibly proud. 3,600 graduates. Wow, amazing. You have an unbelievable, exciting journey in front of you. Not sure exactly what that's going to be. What I can promise you, you'll have a lot of good days, and you'll have some not so good days. They're chances. Take advantage of those chances. What's your chance at life going to look like? Ask yourself that every day. How are you going to live your dash? When I get up every morning, people say, why are you so happy all the time? Well, I have tough days. And I got to work at it. When my feet hit the floor, it's going to be a really good day because they didn't hit the floor for a long time. Think about the simple things in life that matter. What's your chance at life going to look like, as I just said? How are you going to live that dash in between when you were born and when we're no longer here? Thank you so much. Congratulations. Bless you all.
Thank you, Emily and Tim, for your words of inspiration to our students. Can we have another round of applause? Just so inspirational. Well, graduates, congratulations on accomplishing your educational goals at Salt Lake Community College. As you move into this next phase of your life, whether it be to continue your education or to begin your career in the workforce, we wish you the very best in your future endeavors. Graduates, please stand, and will Chair Farrington please join me? It's time. Chair Farrington, as Provost of Salt Lake Community College, I have the honor and privilege of presenting these students who have fulfilled the requirements established by Salt Lake Community College for their degree, diploma, or certificate, and are therefore recommended by our amazing faculty for this appropriate honor.
Wait for it. On behalf, as chair of the Board of Trustees and on behalf of the trustees of Salt Lake Community College, I wholeheartedly congratulate, and it is my honor to accept these graduates of 2021.
Yes.
Okay, grads, you can have a seat. I'm going to give you a few instructions here. So in just a few moments, you're going to be crossing this stage as a graduate of Salt Lake Community College. And while you may believe that you're leaving this institution, we believe that you're just joining us in another role, this time as part of the Salt Lake Community College Alumni Association. You will soon join the ranks of thousands of other SLCC students like Davis and Christina, who have moved from graduate status to alumni status. We hope you will stay connected to Salt Lake Community College by taking advantage of the programs, events, and opportunities that we offer. And we hope, like Tim said, you'll give back in some way by sharing your time and talents with our college. Graduates, as you are preparing to have your picture taken before you walk on stage, there are volunteers who are assigned to assist with straightening your cords or your stoles. Please let them know if you would prefer not to have their help. Hand sanitizer will be available on the ramp before you go on stage, as well as when you step off the stage. And if you are comfortable shaking hands, please extend your hand as you approach individuals on the stage. Now, graduates, please follow the usher from your seat to prepare for the processional. So this is what we've all been waiting for as graduates, family, friends, and supporters. At SLCC, we have always had the tradition of walking across the stage to have students receive their diploma and be acknowledged by the audience and our academic deans. They will be awarded their diplomas by the Provost for Academic Affairs and the Vice President for Student Affairs and Enrollment Management as they cross the stage. While they wait to receive their diplomas, our students will have their pictures taken and then will proceed across the stage where their name will be read. They are truly our highest priority. As students across the stage to receive their diplomas, you're going to notice that they're wearing different colors of cords and stoles. The cords distinguish them by academic achievements and affinity groups. For your information, the gold cords indicate high honors, including our Phi Theta Kappa graduates. The silver cords indicate honors students. The blue cords are worn by our civically engaged scholars. Our graduates of excellence have a silver stole. Our veteran or active duty students who are graduating wear a red, white, and blue cord. The blue and gold cord represent our students who identify as first-generation college students. And our students who identify from coming from diverse backgrounds are wearing multicultural stoles. I'm happy to share with you that today we have 143 veterans and 9 dependents who are graduating, and more than 1,611 of today's graduates identify as first-generation students. Our graduates this year range in age from 15 to 68. They represent 46 countries and 34 states and are collectively earning 3,634 certificates or degrees. They have worked so hard and deserve our enormous recognition. So, please remain seated during the processional for the safety and security of our graduates and guests, and enjoy their remarkable achievements.
Autumn Holden.
Justin Van Tussenbrook.
Tirza Javed.
McKenna Bennett Bradshaw.
Julie Tu.
Joseph Sumner.
Jennifer Chapman. Tommy Sa. Fernando Araújo. Edibar de la Fuente Galindo. JC Gralvin. Laura Fonseca. Nadia Yapapur.
Heather Maggio.
Osiris Garcia Perez.
Ray Middlesworth.
Brock Smith.
Drake Heap.
Manisha Adekari.
Melanie Sutner.
Samuel Aguirre.
Kelsey Buchanan.
Amy Schaefer.
Lindsay Poplin.
Rachel Santizo.
Donnell Anderson.
Wyatt Bringhurst.
Jennifer Kosrowski.
Alexander Gonzalez.
Cammie Black.
Samuel Gardner.
Amy Coria.
Brock Davis.
Tyson Campbell.
Benjamin Roller.
Brian Miller.
Brianna Kempar.
Kyleen Buckner.
Christian Cisneros.
Tufik Alawa.
Jeffrey Wade Daffron.
Kinan Kasongo Tamwe.
Nancy Onofre.
Sean
Sean Rose.
Scott Rabba.
Regan Schramm.
Stacy Owens.
Valeria Ampuero.
Cher Moo.
Sarah Bremer.
Stephen Strickland.
Kenny Dong.
Case McCormick.
Bailey Dalrymple.
Eric Gutowski.
Tanisha Roylance.
Alfred Farias.
Sabrina Williams.
Jose Heron.
Ha Dawn.
Jonathan Charcape.
Angel Mutima.
Trinity No.
Megan Hill.
Ethan Granucci.
Sandra Okoshi.
Matt Masick.
Lynn Pan.
Tyler Bidentoro.
Ross Bayo.
Miles Barrett.
Chelsea Jensen.
Fernanda Rubio.
Melissa Ann Sorano.
Ashley Dominique Salazar.
Ari Hacken.
Zen Ho.
Jade Bell.
Christian Alexander Mendoza.
Deyanira Romero.
Aldo Javier Martinez.
Mason Bancroft.
Maria Fernanda Guyton.
Monique Alia Alires.
Wallison Costa.
Evelyn Solares Olvera.
Macy Morgan.
Maribel Capocha Reynoso.
Jane Fairbairn.
Fartun Isaac.
Ricardo Ramirez.
Joan Lopez Figueroa.
Payson Garrett.
Beto Conejo.
Noah Sean Kirby.
Jesse Fernandez.
Miles Van Weird.
Jose Alberto Lopez Avila.
Parker Reedy.
Ireland Bailey.
Nicholas Ward.
Joseph Harrington.
Isabel Kingston.
Carrie Jorgensen.
Jesse Davis.
Brooke Montgomery.
Brian Young.
Sonia Rahimi.
Kayla Walk.
Victoria Rose Satterfield.
Whitney Smith.
Devin McVicker.
Alexa Bedola.
Weston Markison.
Sarah Duckworth.
Jacob Mulivalle.
Jamie Ruiz.
Jose Chavez.
Francisco Mejia.
Sergio Paniagua.
Hayden Daniel Kidd.
Rafael Lucero.
Jessica Rollins.
Edwin Ray.
Jesse Shepard,
Maria Anderson.
Jennifer White,
Stephanie Saltis.
Ben James,
Soraya Rome.
Heidi Meekum,
Heather Lester.
Catherine Knapp,
Timothy Javea.
Michael Boeter,
Ashby Kearns.
Maria Alina Romero Lopez,
Autumn Holt.
Brittany Crane,
Mary Palmer.
Juan Carlos Garcia,
Heather Manus.
Nicholas Garcia,
Caitlin Grinberg.
Emerald Fox,
Elizabeth Richards.
Lindsay Ann Stark,
Leslie Robles.
Israel Garcia,
Kalayani Potiboni.
Sylvia Resende de la Rosa,
Rebecca Wilkins.
Amber Birmingham,
Maya Cardoso.
Hector D. Ford,
Judith Ramirez Suarez.
Davida Ednick, Edric,
Jessica Martinez Sandoval.
Michaela Austin,
Jessica Wilkes.
Krista Loveday,
Katie Wilkes.
Logan Morley,
Jade Simmons.
Anthony Luis Goddard,
Nicole Montiel.
Gavin Clegg,
Mackenzie Allen.
Ong Lat,
Jonathan Neff Green.
Justin Doe,
Callie Kwong.
Andrea Tidwell,
Simon Muragi.
Ashley Mills,
Robert Schumacher.
Max Hanberg,
Janice Acosta Ramos.
Taylor Standriff,
Mallory Sullivan.
Elijah Malachi Thompson,
Caitlin Rolson.
Mackenzie Ball,
Jacob Judkins.
Robert Gallegos,
Kyle Packy.
Sierra Suchil,
Irvin Reese.
Cynthia Rosada Veronica,
Ray Dazel Trihan.
Braden Coleman,
Megan Powell.
Zach MacArthur,
Imani Green.
Elena Phibbs,
Hannah Nasir.
Lars Peterson,
Pedro Chavez.
Jeremiah John Wilson,
Marcela Huertalino.
Joshua Gilbert,
Huy King Nan Dang.
Desiree Sanchez.
Emily Howe.
Marissa Daring.
Gabriela Elizabeth Hernandez Garcia.
Carla Almanazid.
Delaney Popoka.
Emily Ing.
Lauren Walker.
Markel Bollinger.
Samantha Vongrenek.
Yori Inzala Limba.
Rachel Taylor.
Chelsea Dawn Kinner.
Ángel Eduardo Duran.
Shelley Ann Farr.
Elena Jade Montanes.
Antonio Mejia Romero.
Hosea Johnson.
Patricia Salgado.
Leonardo Liano.
Eliza Pekkonen.
Sarah Dow.
Annie Overfield.
Edwards Gonzalez.
Kenneth M. Stokes.
Amanda Jensen.
Luis Daniel Salazar Villar.
Yaisha Corona.
Christian Berkey.
Jacel Corona.
Amen Kutobi.
Daniel Cepeda.
Wesley Wood.
Diana Lorenzana.
David Candlin Monson.
McKenna Thomas.
Brooke Baker.
Haley Johnson.
Maria Vizcarra.
Abigail Valenzuela Dominguez.
Rhonda Sloman Day.
Brantley Perez.
Samantha Wise.
Melissa Bifes.
Luis Gerardo Miranda.
Tristan Pollock.
Cheyenne Barney.
Felicia Calloway.
Melissa Jonice Delobel.
Tiffany Nicole Lloyd.
Melanie Rivera.
Maria Muffet.
Alexandra Cabrera.
Baran Arkawatsi.
Preston Anderson.
Jalev Cardona Hunt.
Alma Cynthia Phelan.
Mariana Garcia Santana.
Beth Ann Service.
Jacqueline Chavez.
Peachy Neild.
Juan Carlos Rio Barbosa.
Iso Burke.
Leslie Ochoa Mendoza.
Ellie Kerneal.
Gracia Gasca Gonzalez.
Adrielyn Gurr.
Faye Kingsley Young.
Julie Barr.
Elizabeth Gardner.
Asha Marak Bay.
Chastity Austin.
Martha Tesfu.
Larson Stevens.
Lillian Bowles Brown.
Matthew Jones.
Jacob Onishi.
Jacob Carlson.
Hugo Hippolito Verasosa.
Whitney Lamborn.
Amanda Ashby.
Cheyenne Butler.
Desiree Bosch.
Aubrey Stone.
Tisha Five.
Alexis de la Rosa.
Rachel Butters.
Samantha Norman.
Brooklyn Myers.
Amberly Jane Nielsen.
Angelis Ledig.
Emilio Jaramillo.
Michael Cooper.
Brittany Michelle Hollingsworth.
Brian Chuba.
Alicia Whitehead.
Joanna Cambray Cortez.
Brian Thrasher.
Michaela Olson.
Amy Johnson.
Megan Green.
Janalee Cannon.
Anisha Hunt.
Natasha Peters.
Lindsay Foster.
Nicole Devi.
Megan Mattingly.
Thomas John Horton.
Carolyn Brown.
Haley Hansen.
Jacquelina Annika Erosa.
Joseph H. Wilcox.
Michaela Stetler.
Jay Copeland.
Cindy Romero Rivera.
Aaron Brennan.
Madison Faust.
Randy Brown.
Elia Panuco Barrios.
Stuart Thomas.
Sebastian Gonzalez Weisbarth.
Bethany Bunton.
Jada Jackson.
Brianna Liano.
Jamaican Motan.
Emily Rollins.
Keegan Todd Helgren.
Kenny Milkinson.
Marla Avery.
Allison Bedon.
Liliana Juarez.
Courtney Bickley.
Favor Ogochi Ina.
Angela Jackson.
Makeda Toller.
Gabriel John Carlson Andrews.
Isabel Stanford.
Clarice Boribun.
Amina Mukhtar.
Marilyn Moron.
Feiruz Ali.
Randy Facro.
Yasmin Muhammad.
Elizabeth Bettis.
Kylie Herrera.
Ashley Haddingham.
Richard Jordan Black.
Casey Sorensen.
Maria D. Ruffner.
Zachary Sorensen.
Amanda Moore.
Ania Yalavarte.
Elizabeth M. Lopez.
Celeste Calapala.
Samantha Ninfa Espinoza.
Braden Bingham.
Kinsey Moon.
Maria Tacho.
Cynthia Zarate Mata.
Stephanie Altamar.
Sarai Lastra.
Emma Slight.
Kylie Van Dam.
Savannah Perkins.
Jasmine Meza de la Cruz.
Kaylee Munoz.
Maxwell Morris.
Lisa Proudlock.
Braden Miranda.
Kyron Stagg.
Saul Flores.
Stephanie Ceballos.
Jasmine Ruiz.
Noemi Ramirez Lancaster.
Sophia Araujo Jacobs. There we go.
Mackenzie McCumey.
Candace Marchbanks.
Carolina Martinez.
Ryan Crosley.
Savannah Montoya.
Walker Benincosa.
Reyes Jonathan Salazar.
Catherine Farabee.
Alicia Spoker.
Caden Clark.
Brian Robles.
Heather Hunsinger.
Izzy Maniloa Weatherhead.
Yezens Sarah.
Michelle Whiting.
Angeline Fuel.
Michelle Brandon.
Beta Ramirez Jacobo.
David Solomon.
Nayeli Moran.
Stephanie Velasquez Herrera.
Alan Hinojos.
Mark DeWald.
Madeline Pilkington.
Adam Kimball.
Shania Jasmine Peterson.
Kenya Arnsworth.
Andrea Avellino.
Shayla Maquel Martinez.
Taylor Gregrich.
Steve Lucero.
Rebecca King.
Atrio Hunter.
Janidis Cordova.
Dagmar Gaspar.
Maria Griffith.
C.G. Bagley.
Holly Maria Meckley.
Jeanette Moreno.
Shelby Hunter.
Milena Korchinski.
Jackson Maestas.
Ta'uemua Ta'ofi.
Amy Griffith Dashel.
Evelyn Rosas Mejia.
Alice Ferwerda.
Abdurrahman Wade.
Winky Booty.
Jacob Ponce.
Michaela Mulvey.
Ubaldo Aldair Moreno Ojeda.
Stephanie Ha.
Sydney Marie Birmingham.
Marissa Atkinson.
Kevin Arturo Martinez.
Felipe Rodriguez.
Nadia Rivas.
Gordon Ha.
Jonathan McIntyre.
Shayla Rank.
David Aitney.
Rebecca Walker.
Betsabe Cerrón Bustamante.
Isabella Baker.
Jaden Samara Dickerson.
Bradford Lovell.
Nephi Christensen.
Rochelle Gutierrez.
Ben Gomez Rogerson.
Katia Pilkington.
Jennifer Nunez.
Kayla Chadwick.
Samantha Morden.
Jacqueline Jimenez.
Jessica Haight.
Denise Gudino.
Ashley Spoon.
Sir Neftali Gomez Viabalos.
Jamie Christina Greenwald.
Nicole Smith.
Elizabeth Moran.
Justin Knight.
Susan Nicole Jerks.
Sahar Najim.
Candace Morse.
Brian Lynch.
Lee Chestnut.
Brittany Presley.
Terry Stewie.
Dikiti Jasang Tabuk.
Beth Gibbs.
Gopal Gatam.
Stephanie Ellen Beeston.
Chin Pav.
Linda Price Lewis.
Gino Gassani.
Carly Bustle.
Javiera Tracy.
Carson Hardy.
Stephen Julio Martin.
Digna Giddens.
Abigail Lawrence.
Sasha Natcher.
Daniel West.
Gerard Bausa.
Christopher West.
Brandon Tinman.
Michael West.
Jeffrey Whiten Jr.
Zachariah Richard Lee.
Amal Mohammed.
Brian Acevedo.
Faith Hope Charity Greaves.
T. Masami Tadahara.
Brayden Martinez.
Zay Angel Alvarez.
Jenny Rescher.
Jacob Flint.
Ajia Mehich.
Carrie Marler Green.
Araceli Zavala.
Brockton Vandermerva.
Jacqueline Meraz Mendoza.
Joey Simmons.
Tasia McAfee.
Alyssa Westover.
Brendan Carrick French.
Josh Elkins.
Emilio Gonzalez.
Jeremiah Barrowman.
Nathan Twitchell.
Christy Lewis.
Jonathan Castro.
Trina Marie Polta.
Jason Chavez.
Lenora Manji.
Ashley Barbieri.
Carol Chatwin.
Neilana Rose Foster.
Aspen Russell.
Felicia Jennings.
Lindara Unzaga.
Robin Alexander.
Natalia Warren.
Allison Anderson.
Ariana Rhodes.
London Boyland.
Sydney Peterson.
Landon Jacobs.
Tiffany K. Freestone.
Emma Rose Burks.
Mackenzie Garlitz.
Capriana Joe Field.
Letha Matthews.
Stephanie Smith.
Kayla Bangan.
Carlos Javier Barreda.
Ali Smith.
Ana Nieto.
Julia Spencer.
Malik Meller.
Maria Fernandez Masse.
Casey Schultz.
Alexander Martinez Rincon.
Tanisha Renee Jones.
Matthew Crump.
Colin Hardy.
Spencer Clark.
Ariana Valderas.
Aldo Martinez Del Rio.
Susana Mancia.
Mackenzie Dumas Severson.
Anita Puerta Valerio.
Cheyenne McKell Cook.
Janet Reyes Nande.
Sophia Carolina Broadhead.
Eduardo Reyes Nande.
Kimberly Leon. Hannah Terry.
Susan Keikoa.
Dimitri Nez.
Bindi Freeman.
Suzanne Annette Taylor.
Bradley Melkelson.
Dana Lee Inocentes Camacho.
Enrique Flores.
Mickey Wynn McKay.
Zoe Plaza.
Monica Lisette Ayala.
Melissa Kayleen Hebel.
Gabriel Rendon.
Kaden Jacobson.
Kenyon Smith. Bokao Vung.
Chia Chui Zhu.
Sarah Paul.
Rochelle May Comarines.
Sarah Paredes.
Ashley Marie Edelson.
Kylie Cotton.
Tabarak Abbas.
Misty Shaw.
Isaac Lorden.
Ernesto Bustillos.
Luis Martinez.
Donna Stadulis.
Ashley Jacobson.
Andres Ferrer Fernandez.
Roseanne Wilkins.
Ali Abrebe.
Melissa Dawn Leak.
Caitlin Vogel.
Ariana Newman.
Alvaro Fernandez.
Aiden Spenlove.
Caitlin Scherzinger.
Brenna Stevenson.
Kalia Uilani Celestina Mahafutau.
Kevin Bacon.
Alexandria Justine Wayne.
Kimberly Ponce Gonzalez.
Katie Nelson.
Citlali Soto.
Makdu Ismail.
Evelyn Nunez.
Zach Lucero.
Maria Rosales.
Biane Diaz.
Mayra Nieves.
Manuel Marique Juarez.
Anika Mukdan.
Charles Wolfgram.
Jaden Gallegos.
Bryn Olson.
Esmeralda Gaeta Wizar.
Nicole Bridget Flaherty.
Jocelyn Esperanza Zaragoza.
Natalie Parada.
Natalie Guadalupe Calzada.
Guadalupe Lopez.
May Sorensen.
Jessica Nicole Hill.
Sierra Ostergaard.
Bruno Miranda.
Patrick Whitaker.
Brandon Ayan.
Kimberly Whitaker.
Angel Boingana.
Alec Nelson.
Josh Call.
Luke Nelson.
Nabi Fatima Chanyan.
Samantha Peterson.
Jessica Arlette Hernandez Hernandez.
Dana Metwali.
Sergio Jesus Ramirez.
Alejandra Ángel Solarte.
Jason Swanson.
Marissa Hughes.
Anna Quintana Schroeder.
Anne-Marie Cameron.
Nicole Young.
Parker Rockwell Slade.
John Harridan.
Noor Bilal.
Allison Adisha.
Jennifer Leon Hansen.
Paulina Anderson.
Benjamin Gomez.
Stefania Lorsa.
Jacob McConkey.
Nathaniel Sanders.
Gloria Huang.
Guillermo Eduardo Calvo Morales.
Daniela Cárdenas Medrano.
Maisha Khan.
Dayanara Montjoy.
Samira Khan.
Don McNaughton.
Brandon Shields.
Gerson Lucas Barreda.
Shauna Flash.
Susie Savala Binrup.
Angela Paola Mendoza.
Haley Mattingly.
Melvin Alfonso Belloso.
Naba Mari.
Catherine Cavazos.
Shaylee Quist.
Sylvia Melgar.
Jacqueline Torres.
Angela Alcala Revilla.
Israel Prescott.
Melanie Verumpo Ferragati.
Rodolfo Jr. Gomez.
Stephen Paulson.
Diana Cortina.
Rida Almariki.
Viara Mercerwa.
Laura Farthing.
Tania Jabonero Escobar.
Luz Martinez.
Maria Amit.
Nicole Scarton.
John Fay Lai.
Yukako Agura.
Heidi Rosales.
Nok Win.
Callie Phillips.
Monica Gill.
Brenda Jimenez Ramirez.
Brenda Acosta.
Isaac Roman.
Paul Bryant.
Stephen Isaac Guzman.
Katie Jacobson.
Genesis Melissa Giannoni Moreno.
Noelia Pirvano.
Caleb Gibson.
Chantel Antoinette Kellner. Penatoni Leetoa.
Paul James McConkey.
Jesse Jenkins.
Lindsay Lauren Simons.
And Class President Emily Hernandez Alzamora.
That was fabulous. What a blast. Thank you. So, graduates, in a moment, there will be a recessional of the President's Party, and we're going to ask that you stay in your seats until the platform guests have left the arena, and then you're free to go celebrate with your family and friends and make the most of your accomplishments. Thank you so much to all of you for your attendance at the 2020-2021 commencement. Now, students, these are my last instructions to you as students. Please stand. Okay, I want you to take a deep breath and reach up and change your tassel from the right to the left. Congratulations on your graduation.